when one guy has 10 Hall of Famers, how many players are on a basketball team?
12 normally.
12.
15 if you include injured guys.
And 10 are Hall of Famers. No, because I could tell how your face is forming. You have 10 Hall of Famers, and Wilt has one Hall of Fame teammate, and Hal Greer. What is supposed to happen? And then, okay, when you look at the matchups, if you just, all you have to do is Google, it takes 5 seconds to Google the matchups. They have them. They have the box scores. They have them. Like, it's not a mythology or anything.
Right.
And you can see that Wilt Chamberlain just dominated Bill every time they played. Now, he didn't do to Bill what he did to others. Yeah, others, he's scoring 100 here, he's scoring 60 here, 50 there, 70 there. Okay, his numbers come down. Bill Russell's an awesome defender. But still, 38 and 20, 45 and 18, that's still domination, folks, okay? While Bill is scoring 18 or 15 and 20 or whatever and shooting 30% from the field as a center, that's what are we doing? What are we doing, man? We have to stop this. Stephen A. makes this dumb comment, and he says, yeah, and that's why we regard Bill Russell in such a high regard over Wilt Chamberlain. It's because he won 11 championships and Wilt only won 2. And that's just it. And that's why he's much better. And that's why he's in the top 5 and Wilt is not. And I just want to jump through the television and just ring it. And let me tell you something. And this is and it's not about Wilt and Bill is what I'm thinking about here. It's a bigger umbrella. And you fall under this umbrella, Pink, and you are a part of the reason why this culture here is screwed up, man. It's screwed up, and you're a part of it, and I don't like it, and I hate it. And it's one of the main things that we disagree about.
It's not not drugs and bimbos screwing up society. It's me and this damn umbrella.
Sports culture and sports society specifically.
Okay.
Not life in general. I think we have we in agreement on those things.
On most of those issues.
Yeah, but the winning, just being so important over everything and at all costs, and just throwing away all other context is awful, man. It's really terrible because and just touching on this Wilt and Bill thing, as we've done a couple times on the show. Once I know it for sure. Just touching on it. Yes, Bill won 11 championships and Wilt won 2, and they were fairly basically in the same era. You look at that 30, 40, 56 years later, you can come to a conclusion, oh, the one guy had to be better than the other. But, again, when one guy has 10 Hall of Famers, how many players are on a basketball team?
12 normally.
12.
15 if you include injured guys.
And 10 are Hall of Famers. No, because I could tell how your face is forming. You have 10 Hall of Famers, and Wilt has one Hall of Fame teammate, and Hal Greer. What is supposed to happen? And then, okay, when you look at the matchups, if you just, all you have to do is Google, it takes 5 seconds to Google the matchups. They have them. They have the box scores. They have them. Like, it's not a mythology or anything.
Right.
And you can see that Wilt Chamberlain just dominated Bill every time they played. Now, he didn't do to Bill what he did to others. Yeah, others, he's scoring 100 here, he's scoring 60 here, 50 there, 70 there. Okay, his numbers come down. Bill Russell's an awesome defender. But still, 38 and 20, 45 and 18, that's still domination, folks, okay? While Bill is scoring 18 or 15 and 20 or whatever and shooting 30% from the field as a center, that's what are we doing? What are we fucking doing, man? We have to stop this. And then you go and you fast forward to other players and other sports, okay? And you got in the Michael Jordan thing, okay? He is great. I'm not talking about him in specific, but just winning the Nikola Jokic and all of this. I fucking hate it, man. We have to include context along with winning, and I think that is the formula, not just winning.
If you want to be decorated as an individual, do an individual sport. Go run track and field, go box, be an MMA guy, play tennis. Then you
Wilt
get
did
to
all
be,
of that, by the way.
That's great. That's great.
Literally.
Yeah, but he wasn't a champion. The bastard
Came close in track and
The bastard
field.
was a loser.
Came close in track and field.
But see, I mean, that's the thing. I mean, if you're a guy, and you got to realize how you're wired when you're coming up, go to the individual sports. Go to the individual sports. If you're going to be a team guy, at the end of the day, you are, and Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. And that's like, we keep score for a reason. We win games. If you win, you advance. It's what sports are predicated upon, team sports. And I get, you could be individually better than a person, but history remembers winners. And to be perfectly fair, a lot of those guys on the Celtics that made the Hall of Fame, if they were in another situation, they probably don't have Hall of Fame careers. They're probably good players who have nice stats individually, but probably don't rise to the level of Hall of Famers.
Winning. Yes, but it's still a collection of good players. No matter how you cut it.
Yeah.
So so maybe they're a good player that doesn't make the Hall of Fame on the fucking whatever Phoenix Suns.
Right.
But when you pair this good player with that good, if I pair 10. What's our guy's name for Phoenix Suns? Bradley Beal. If I pair 10 right now Bradley Beal is not a Hall of Famer.
Right.
But if I pair 10 caliber players that are Bradley Beals on his level in just different positions, not only is that team going to win a lot, but that team is going to be that's a great fucking team.
I know, but that's what, like, when you're talking about team sports, that's what this is. And organizations, to me, have a duty and a responsibility to try to win.
Yes, but what if you're on an organization that is just not cutting the cake?
Now, in this era, you have the benefit of basically leveraging yourself out. And back in Wilt's time, that wasn't an option.
No. It was. I'm gonna tell you something because I read something, and this is what happened. He did because a player before him kind of started the free agency thing and whatnot, and so here goes the thing. Wilt did what people wanted LeBron James to do. He stayed in Philly. He said, "I'm going to stay here, get my head knocked in because I'm going to get Philly a championship.
Right.
I will die trying to get you guys a championship." Now, once I get that,
that's right.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
The year he left, the year he won, he left and went to L.A.
Right.
But acting, a lot of that played in the part of the game. But
Will,
L.A. had all of the great players. He could have been left for L.A.
Right.
And what if after his first contract, 4 years in Philly, he loses to Boston. He has the 100-point game already. He's in his prime of prime. He's 25 years old. What if he goes to L.A. then? He could have left for L.A. then with 0 championships. Left for L.A. with all the great players. Jerry West, you name them. Blah, 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 blah.
Won 5 or 6, and Russell only would have had 4 or 5 himself, and it would have been a different story.
Is that what you rather him do?
Yeah.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I think winning that championship in Philly it meant way more than just going to L.A. with 5 or 6 other great players and just winning. Like, that's the Kevin Durant model. I don't respect that model.
Okay, and to be fair, and I don't know if everybody knows, Wilt was a Philly guy. That's where he grew up. So, playing for the Sixers had a different appeal, and I get that. But again, go back to what we said like before. You're defined by your decisions more than your talent. And that was a decision that Wilt made. And he basically, lives with the consequence of that. He could have, played out in a scenario where he had more titles than Bill Russell, and this conversation would never have happened because he would have the individual stats and stature plus comparable titles, hands down. We don't have this discussion 50 years after the fact. But he chose not to do that for whatever reasons. And, he's dead now, but, perhaps he was satisfied with the road that he took. But there is going to be a cost to the road we take. And Kevin Durant's paid a cost. There's still this narrative that you've never won without the Warriors and without Steph and without all this great team, and that that has a say in his stature in the game. And you've been very critical of him, and I agree with a lot of what you say on that. But his standing in the game, and here's the thing, his standing is only going to go downhill.
Yeah.
it's not going to go any further.
No.
You know,
Talking about Kevin Durant.
Kevin Durant,
Yeah,
specifically. And that's the thing, the choices that he made. He could have stayed with the Warriors, kept them more vulnerable.
It would have been, you know, for him, it might as well just stay with the Warriors.
I thought at the
because
time.
that narrative dies after a couple more rings. Even after one more, maybe.
Yeah, you know, and you just get that thing. And it's like, but he chose the road that he chose, and he's going to have to live with the consequences.
Yeah.
It just is what it is, you know. I mean, LeBron, for his part, you know, like, he needed to leave Cleveland.
Yeah.
And he got a couple rings in Miami, and he comes back to Cleveland.
Yeah.
He does.
I think he needed to leave Miami at that point.
I do too, yeah. There was a feeling that Miami was tapped out at that point, and he moved on. I mean, LeBron, for whatever you want to say about him, he has always recognized when the team is shit.
When it's time.
And he's always left a turd in the bowl.
I mean, yeah.
Man hasn't flushed in his life. It just is what it is. I mean, he realizes, hey, man, I need to go. But his timing's impeccable, man.
There's no holding down the fort.
Yeah, right. So he's not circling the wagons at all. He's getting out and going.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, but that's, it is what it is. I mean, there's, we kind of can't escape. Did you play to win? That's what it is. And to me, even guys that have never gotten a title, like, put yourself in position to do that.
I'm going to interject here because that's a great point. I was watching this clip from T-Mac. He was in an interview, and they asked him about his time in Orlando. And he was like, man, I loved the Orlando Magic. They were the ones that believed in me, gave me a chance because I wasn't starting in Toronto.
Right,
There was questions around the league about what I could do and things like that. Orlando believed in me. We got there. He says he got there, and they did well in the beginning forming the team. They drafted the shooter. I want to say Mike Miller, but I know that's not. I don't think that's
it.
I
think it was. Yeah, they were buddies at
the
time. Yeah, Mike Miller.
So they drafted him,
Florida,
and they got him. And then, and then eventually the free agent with Grant Hill, at the time he was very excited about. Of course, it didn't work out.
Well, no, they came together.
Yeah.
With Grant Hill, but Grant Hill was damaged goods.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So I'm just saying.
That was tough.
In the beginning, like, things were working out into his favor, but after a while, they traded Mike. They started making bad moves. And then he's like, man, this city believed in me. I did a lot for it. It's been successful, been good for my career, but I can't stay here for this. I can't stay here for this. Now, T-Mac is a guy with, like, literally what you just said, never won. But at that point in his career, it's like, I need to move and make a change and try. Yeah. And Houston, on paper, was a better fit and had more things going on.
I still, like, to me, the irony is that Dwight came here.
Yeah.
Like, and if he somehow stayed out, he would have got an 8 or 9 year run with a healthy Dwight, which was a hell of a thing. Was amazing, as much as we clown on Dwight, like, his initial part of his career was fantastic. Yeah. And he went, and Yao Ming, Tracy McGrady, a tremendous individual talent. He comes here with the idea of playing with Grant Hill, and there was a real close Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I'm talking about like that close.
That would have been like the original super team, like whatever. And then that, like, Tim Duncan stays. Grant Hills never really gets healthy at the same time McGrady was playing, and then again he reassessed it, looked at his Yao Ming and Houston, and let's go do that. And meanwhile, Dwight comes here and plays great for 8 years, and Yao Ming always seemed to be hurt, and they never really fulfilled on the promise that.
Now that you say that, I wish they would have asked him about that, because Dwight was really right around the corner.
Yeah.
I
think he's got a 1 year gap.
But maybe the Magic are a little better if T-Mac stays. They don't bottom out and get the pick.
Yeah.
But
a lot of things
goes into that. But they would have been a bad team.
Yeah, for sure. No, that was funny though. Yeah, it really fascinating the way all this stuff sort of plays out. Mm-hmm. But again, that's why, like, it's short-sighted or whatever, like, for the guys that just make it work, and that they find a way to get the title or be in a situation where they get multiple titles, like, you can't underestimate how special that is.
No, you can't.
And there's an element of good fortune, there's an element of organizational support, and then of course there's an element of individual performance. And to me, like, when I look at it, and I didn't play at any level of any significance. I've coached in high school, and coached in some other events and stuff like that. But to me, there's a special vibe that happens when you're the last team standing.
Yeah.
Even in a final, like when everybody else is shut down and you're still playing, And that's a huge feeling. And to me, like, if you go your whole career as a very good player and all you've ever done is watch other people play in June, that would drive me insane.
Yeah.
Just not to be a part of that show.
Year in and year out.
Yeah. I mean, and like, to me, I would be desperate to do whatever it takes to get to a situation.
That is if you have that thing inside of you. If that's the type, some of these, a lot of these guys are just, they're fine with the paycheck and what the game can
get the bad crew.
Yeah, to get the bad crew.
Secure their bad crew. Which I don't relate to them. I don't I mean, it can't, and I feel like I said it a million times. It's like, securing the bag, like you're not going, from like minimum wage to $200 million. It might be $180 million instead of $200 million.
Yeah.
At that point, like, people will still eat. There will be a roof, warm water, indoor plumbing. I mean, let's not get crazy here.
Still have hot water.
Yeah, man.